So I want to welcome you to this very, very important session. My name is George Martin Mutumba. And for some of you, we've already interacted, either because you've called me on my phone call or you've texted me. And today is a very special session. One, to mark the beginning of our P16 sessions. Audit practice. Sorry, we used to call it advanced audit. Now we are on audit practice, P16. And this session, it's a webinar. We are going to be trying to unwrap P16. What to expect? What are the key pitfalls that happen? What are those things we are supposed to pay attention to during our time? So my name is George Martin Mutumba. I've been teaching this for the last about more than 10 years now, specifically P16. I only teach audit, nothing else. So I'm a specialist in audit. My friends always call me a one-legged man because anything beyond audit, I'll say, no, I'm sorry, but thank you. Yes. So, and I'll be taking you through the course and the revision. At MAT Abacus, you have an opportunity to cost to the price that is charged to you is an all-round price that includes everything from class to revision and to the study material. So first, what makes this session very special is whatever we're going to talk about today, 90% of what we shall talk about today, we shall talk about it also in the last session. So that is how very important this session is. It must be the first and last. Because whatever we say here, you must remember it along your journey and also as you enter the exam. Now, honestly, in my view, this is one of the easiest papers at level 3 in CPA. But the pass rates are always very low. And in a minute, I'll be discussing why the pass rates are probably very low in this paper. But just to put your expectations right, this is a paper of Lugambo. Lugambo, for those of you just talking, there will be very few calculations if they are there. But it's mostly talking, writing, and that's what brings the complication. We are very specific on certain things, and I'll be guiding you. We are very specific on how we want you to write our answers, but very importantly, this paper is a build-up on your earlier paper. I think it is P9, ethics and audit. The only difference is that there's a very big gap. It's a build-up, but there's a very big gap in expectations between what we require you to do at 16 and at 9 and what we want you to do now. Let's go through the paper. So the paper is called Audit Practice. And like I said, I'll be your tutor. That's me. Of course. So why the low pass rates? You will realize that in the last probably 10 years, the pass rate of this paper is usually between 20, sometimes close to 18%. Last sitting was at about 25, I think. It means that every 10 people, only 2 pass. Why? 1, lack of enough preparation. Students read notes more as opposed to practice questions. During class, I'll be telling you that you need to spend only 20% of your time in notes and 80% in questions. And for that reason, here at MAT Abacus, we shall do our syllabus in exactly 2 months. That is predominantly February and March. Then April and May, purely revision. Purely revision. So you'll see that we have divided our time into 50-50. It's slightly different from what you're doing with other papers. Probably other papers, you'll have 70 class and 30 revision. Here, you'll have about 10 sessions of revision, or about 12 of revision, and you'll have about 15 of class. Why? Because this paper has a lot to do with question practice. Again, I must warn you, whereas the notes of this paper are very, very easy. In fact, if I gave you the notes, I think you can try to figure out things. The only challenge comes in with passing. You find the notes very, very easy. And even the questions, when you read the notes, it feels like, okay, I actually have this in the notes. But many times when you give us the answer, as it is in the notes, we shall be saying, no, you not pass the question. And we call that regurgitating information. When people carry notes into and give them to us as answers. So I'll be training you on how to answer these questions. Sometimes the questions are as simple as your lower questions you came across in P9. But the answer we expect at this level will be very different. In fact, as we answer these questions, sometimes you'll be wondering, but how was I supposed to know that I'm supposed to put this? How was I supposed to know that I'm supposed to add all this and it comes with marks? I'll give you an example. For instance, in your lower paper, your examiner would ask you, what are the ethical issues? Explain the ethical issues. Part A. Then you start telling us the ethical issues. Ethical threats. You tell us self-review, self-interest. Then part B. What are the safeguards? At this level, the same question will come back. And the examiner will just simply ask you, explain the implications of the matters described above to the completion of it. Or explain the implications, explain the ethical and practice management issues. At this level, your examiner does not ask you for safeguards. When you read the question 10 times, he's just asking, what are the ethical issues? But guess what? Your marking guide will require you to give both ethical issues and safeguards, and there will be marks for both. And the marking guide will go on to say, if the person does not give the safeguard, please do not award the following marks. So now, unfortunately, you will not find that in your notes. Well, in my notes, I have attempted to include some of these things, the notes I give you. But definitely, it's not possible for me to include most of the things because of the nature. These are examinational things. However, this is the reason why you must attend class. You can find my notes anywhere. Probably 12 started before we give them to you. They will not be updated, but you can get them. But the key things that relate to the examination, you may not find them. And it's the real value that you get when you pay for class. So this is going to be not slightly, but very different. And the other issue with this paper is that unlike your other papers, which are calculation in nature, and you can look at the calculation and know, yes, this I've finished this one, I have done this one, I have entered the right entry. This paper is of Lugam. So you just be writing. Now, unfortunately, most of you do not know how to score the marks in Lugam. You don't know how much to write and how much not to write. So because of that, many of you are unable to finish the paper. Many of you write a lot of irrelevant things that you've picked from your notes and you give them as answers because you don't know exactly what you need. Now, honestly, if you ask me a general question, George, how do I answer this question? Even me, I'll not be able to answer that question. However, as we do so many questions, you start to pick up the trend that, oh, when the guy says this, and in some instances, I'll even be giving you steps, that when the guy asks for this, step number 1 is this, step number 2 is this, step number 3 is this, and this is step number 4. And you must follow those strictly because I'm only giving you the steps because I expect that's where the marks will be awarded on each step. So when you don't do that, you end up writing a lot of essays with no marks. Many of you find yourselves, you're very good at standards. So you come, you look at the question and you answer it like the way you answer it when you're doing is it P12? That is ZD's paper. That is, I think, advanced financial reporting. So you find you've poured a lot of standards. But this is audit. The standards only take about 1 out of 10 marks. And someone comes out, they're happy they've passed. And this is another bad thing about this paper, is when you come out, most of the time, you don't know whether you've passed or not. Why? Because they'll gamble paper. And when you fail it the first time, it even becomes harder the second time. Why? Most of you go and do exactly what you did the first time. When you do exactly the same thing, of course, the mark cannot go up. It can only go down. And that is why when you ask your friends, many people have done this paper, they've done it 1, 2, 3 many times, and even get so frustrated because they cannot tell what's going wrong. They feel like, guys, they have done everything. I have a couple of friends, or you can call them friends now because I've taught them in the past, who have come to me and said, George, I've done this about 10 times, I've done this 5 times with so and so, so and so, so and so. But I don't know what's going wrong. And what I always tell you, no. Come in class, physical class. Why? When I give questions, I always give everyone a chance to write and answer. And even those of you who plan to be online, make sure every time I give a question, before I answer it, I give you a chance to answer. Please answer it. Why? Remember, at that point, you have your notes. So you can even choose directly from your notes and give an answer. But you must write your answer. Why do I give you that chance? Such that when I answer it, you can see the difference between your answer and my answer. I know it that you have notes. Don't be ashamed to even get your book, open the book, copy the notes, the answer directly from the book. I want to see what would be your answer, assuming you have read. So that you see the difference between what your answer would be, assuming you did self-study and you have all the notes and matter in your head. The difference, what would your answer be and my answer, so that you see what the difference in your mark would be. And that's very, very important. And that's why I always tell people, I know that sometimes it's not possible for you to do physical class, but I highly encourage it specifically for this paper. And also specifically for the revision. Why? I get a chance to get a red pen and exactly show you what you're doing wrong in your answers. Because it's not going to be about your notes anymore. It's going to be a lot about how you answer. And that is this paper. So I will be doing a lot of, apart from that, We are also going to have a test. It will be an open book test. Open book. I'll even tell you what I'm bringing, but you must do it. It's an opportunity for you to see, okay, assuming I had read everything, that's why I make it open book. Assuming I had read everything, and this question comes, would I be able to answer it? Now, many people do not do that test. And for me, when you don't do it already, it's a red flag. Because it's open book. I even warn you, I'm going to give you a test. I even tell you this is what's coming. So what reason do you have for not doing it? But why do I insist on a test yet it's open book? Because I want to see if you read everything and you had every matter, how would you answer these questions? Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it about the paper. Let's go back to the script here. Many people fail to finish the exam. Sorry. So regurgitating of information. This is a big problem in audit. Someone just provides what they have in notes. Failure to finish the exam. Under answering of questions. So all this we shall be handling in class and in revision. What's the first step to answer the question? Ask yourself, how many marks has been awarded to the question? How do I think the marks will be distributed? Failure to obtain professional marks. I'll be giving you 4 marks to use. You must use. You're not going to pass this exam without giving us the right 4 marks. These are professional exams. Use of the wrong approach while in the examination. I'll definitely go through the approach as we do our revision. Many of you misfire. I have repeated regurgitating of information because it's a big problem in this exam. We have core areas of the exam. Those are the core areas. The notes that I'll be giving you will have about 80% because audit is ever changing and you cannot keep changing the book every single sitting. But I'll give you 20% of the matter outside. I'll be giving it as a different additional material. But also additionally, in class, you realize that I'll not be following the book. And I'll not be following any other script. But in class, when I'm teaching, you'll have an opportunity to make your own notes. The same way I've made my own notes in my head. Now, if you make very good notes in class, you realize that you have summarized the book that you have given you. If you make very good notes. There will be professional marks. This we shall do, we shall see along the way. Now, one of the key requirements in this exam, for you to pass this exam, will be your ability to critically analyze. And when you read your syllabus, the examiner is very, very, very categorical on your analysis skills, your critical assessment skills. And your question 1, most of the times, comes from the planning section of audits, which is the business risk, audit risk, and risk of maturity statements. And your analysis skills will be key. You will have to bring out your business acumen, your professionalism, things that were not very, very critical on in your earlier P9 exam. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will not attempt to go through the entire syllabus today because that's not the intention of today. But your syllabus is very wide because audit by nature is very wide. And you'll see that we have a lot of information that I'll be giving. And when that a lot of information is on the table, many of you start to choose what to read. You forget that even me already, I have just not given you 100% because I cannot. Would need about 3 years to do that. But based on experience, based on how the examiner has been behaving, based on the guidance of ICPU in the syllabus book, I'm able to zone in for you watching it. So you cannot also go and zone in further and say, hey, now he has given us this 10 parts, let me read 6. No, you're going to fall in a ditch. Sometimes, because at MAT, I run my things much quicker than any other person, some people get so comfortable and spend more time on other papers that they call monsters. Well, now, this is for people who are doing more than one paper. Public sector, advanced financial reporting. I know at some point people feel like, okay, this is very nasty. They need to spend more time on it, and they end up dropping the ball, dropping the guard on the beat of audit. And that's where things go wrong. But if we go together, if we move together with consistency from day one to the last day, I am almost 200% sure you'll make it in this exam. Why? I have already told you why people fail this exam. I have been in this for more than 10 years. I have helped so many people pass this exam, right? So we know why people fail the exam. So if we can move together from A to Z, there's no chance that you have challenges in this exam. When you go to Mango, you'll find over 1,000 people in this paper. When you go to the classes are empty. Why? Most people consider the exam to be easy. Yes, because in material it's easy. And therefore do self-study. Some people, when they fail the first time, they say, oh, I got 47. I was so close. Let me go and try again. You get 45. Let me go and try again. You get 40. Let me go and try again. 34. So by the time you come to realize that, no, actually this thing is a monster, it's now 6 sittings down the road. And at that time, I'm telling you, ban all the information you have and come and we start again. So ladies and gentlemen, that's it about this paper. I want to first stop here and take any questions if available. Any questions, guys? Bob Otika. Bob?
Hello.
Any questions?
As of now, I still have no questions, sir.
Oh, okay, no problem.
I have Martin.
Yes, Hanifa. Talk to me.
How different is the applicability of audit level 2 and audit level 3?
Okay, perfect. Now, Hanifa, that's a very good question. For those of you who have studied level 2 audits of MAT Abacus, you realize that I'm one of the co-authors of actually that book, both of P9. Even when I don't teach it, I'm one of the co-authors, if you realize, that book. And I'm also the same person teaching the audit practice, even when I don't teach the lower paper. Now, we introduced a lot of rules. Remember, the challenge we have with the lower paper is that it has both ethics and audit. It has both ethics and audit. Because of that, you find that there's a lot of audit things that we expect you to have covered that are probably not in your syllabus down there. So there's a bit of a big gap. However, whatever you learn that side is presumed knowledge in audit. Now, the ethics here is not even 2% at this level. Whatever you learn there, we're not going to tell you to unlearn it because we are going to repeat it. Actually, we won't repeat it, but it is presumed knowledge. All the ISAs that you did in audit and assurance you're not going to redo them, but there will be presumed knowledge here because you need the answers. However, the nature of questions you get there and how we expect you to answer them down there is quite different from when you come here. You'll have almost the same questions, but how you answer them will now be different. This paper is almost going to be completely case study and scenario based, right? Will now require you more than ever to dig deeper into the scenario and pick out things. So the questions will look direct, but they're not as direct as they will look. Down there, the questions are a little bit more direct. They're the same questions, by the way. They're a little bit more direct. I give you an example. Down there, someone can ask you, what are the ethical issues, dilemmas? What are the safeguards? The same question will come in audit practice. But I will not ask you what are the ethical. We shall say, what are the ethical implications of this? The other side, this question will have 15 marks. Down there, they'll ask what are the ethical issues, 5 marks. Safeguards, 5 marks. Here we shall be asking, what are the ethical implications? And that simple question will require you, one, to go into the scenario, dig out the ethical issues. The way you explain them will be different. We'll need some deeper knowledge here. But most importantly, we shall also expect you to give us safeguards. Yet you've not asked for them. So you'll see that the applicability here is, we're going to require you to have a lot of maturity, business acumen, communication skills, and analysis and evaluation. That word, analysis and evaluation, is very, very important at this level. It's a skill that you must bring out. And that is what kills all of you. Because in your deep analysis and evaluation, you don't know what to tell us. And you end up telling us things that are different from what we want to hear. And that's why during class I said, I'll even be guiding. When the examiner asks for this, follow step A, B, C, D. That is me showing you what evaluation is, what analysis is. Something that was not very, very critical in your earlier paper. And that is what makes papers at this level, and especially this one, quite hard to pass. Because sometimes we're unfair to you. We're asking you a question and we expect you to give us A, B, C, D. And yet in the question, you cannot see how even you require, how you naturally know that when I ask this, I want A, B, C, D. And that's the difference. I honestly think a good student at P9 can probably, even if you missed about 2, 3, 4 classes and you read very well, probably you may pass. Try it at this level, self-study. This particular paper, I'm worried. You'll have a lot of problems. The notes will be clear. Everything will be same clear, but the mark will always come below 50. So that is the challenge. Hanifa, and I don't know whether I've answered your question well.
It's okay. I have another question.
It's okay. Yes.
Yes. The other question is,
yes,
does the paper need to use the audit language, or we can go about it using normal English?
It is normal English, but how you answer, you see a difference. As we answer our questions, you see there's a very small difference between a pass and a fail. And even in your course of your, if you just interacted with most of your friends, you realize that in terms of knowledge levels, most of the people who will be failing, the people will be failing in 40s, and those who pass usually pass in 50s and a few 60s. So yes, there's the audit language, but it's actually English, but it's more about the approach. It's more about the approach. I'll give you an example. Again, let me just put here something. Let me just give you a very small example to illustrate what I'm saying. Am I able to find something here? Am I able to find something here to illustrate what we're saying? Okay. It's something I don't. Look at this. Oh, okay. Look at this, Hanifa. Oh, I don't have a question here. Oh, God. Okay. I thought I had an example. Okay. I'll give you a live example. Let me illustrate a live example of what we're trying to say. I thought I had something here. Okay. Let me give you an example of a question that can appear in both your papers, both the lower paper and this one. Probably the examiner will ask you, you are a manager in MSK Associates. A firm of chartered certified accountants. You are, MSK is the auditors. Your firm have been auditing Standard Chartered Bank, have been auditing Standard Bank Uganda Limited, non-Standard Chartered, but Standard Bank Uganda Limited. Are you able to see my screen? Probably not. Are you able to see my screen, what I'm typing, guys?
No.
This whole session, you've not been seeing my screen?
No.
No.
Eh? Oh my goodness.
We've been seeing you. We've been seeing your face.
You aren't seeing my screen? Okay, anyway, there's nothing much that I was that I had. Now, are you able to see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so you manage an MSK Associates, a firm of chartered accountants. Your firm has been appointed, has been auditing Standard Bank Uganda Limited for the last 3 years. For the last 3 years. And okay, they've been appointed for the last 3 years. And Standard Bank has recently, look at this, Standard Bank has recently requested that one of the representatives from your firm, preferably a manager, attends a meeting with the bankers. Sorry, now let's change this. Has been auditing Umeme. With their bankers as they negotiate a loan. Your representative will not be required to say anything at the meeting. Now, in your lower paper, the same question can come. And your examiner will ask you, what are the ethical issues? That's in P19, P9. What are the safeguards? You see? Now, in audit practice, we shall just say, what are the implications? What are the ethical and professional implications of the matters described above? Ten marks. Same scenario can happen in both. Now, Hanifa.
Yes, please.
I don't know how long ago you did 19, but can you just attempt to answer, give me an answer to the ethical issues? Just don't worry, in case you don't know, just tell me, George, no. It's been a long while. I've given birth in between. I have, so please, I'm sorry. Do you think you can attempt to get an answer here? Hanifa? Using your P9 information. And don't worry, it doesn't have to be correct. Just attempt. Don't worry, Hanifa, I don't know your face. I won't judge you. I promise you. Anyone who can help? Someone was trying to ask me, and the reason I'm giving this is we just want to see the difference. Just to paint you a picture of the gap between P9 and P16. Yes, Matthew. Matthew, shoot. Matthew, yes, Matthew, I see your hand is up.
Thank you, George. For me, I think that there will be a self-interest threat as the firm may attempt to support the client's loan application to ensure that the client remains financially viable and continues to pay audit fees.
Now, Matthew.
Yes, please.
You're a very fast guy. I hope you don't like that in life. Ladies usually like
not really.
The way you do your Matthew. Do you have a girlfriend, Matthew?
Yes.
Ladies like it when you take these things very slow. So, and I mean the audit principles, nothing else, please. Let your mind not take you anywhere else, right?
Yes.
So I want you to take us a little slow. There's someone who said the process by process. You remember that lady?
Yes.
I used to take me process by what? So I want you to take us slow on your answer because we're going to analyze it. Thank you. So, so you're saying self-interest rate? Yes. Matthew?
Okay, the firm may be attempted to support the client's loan application to ensure that the client remains financially viable in order to continue to pay the audit fees. But viable.
You know that what?
Continue paying audit fees.
Actually, let me do this. Sorry.
Okay. Another threat I can think about is the intimidation threat.
Now, okay. Let's first start with this one before we go to other threats. So, you see, this is a very good answer. Are we together?
Yes.
It's a very good answer. What's happening? Who didn't pray today? Why are we having this kind of problems? Hanifa, did you? Oh, Hanifa is a Muslim. I was about to ask if you went to church, Hanifa. Hanifa?
Yes, Martin. Yes, Martin.
Did you go to the mosque on Friday?
Yes.
You did? Yeah, Hanifa.
I did.
God is seeing you if you're lying. You have not yet gone to church. Anyway, so this is the answer that Matthew has given us. Now, if you give this answer may be correct at level 2. At level 3, 1, this is the answer we'd expect from you. We'll say, first identify the issue from the scenario. We'll say, okay, what was the scenario and what specific issue are we talking to? A representative from the farm. So here we'll say, okay, 1, negotiation. Now, Hanifa,
Yes,
and
please.
you can see that whereas this is the kind of answer you might give at the lower level, and you could be right. As we go into P16, this is the kind of answer we would need. You realize that this, we've just described what advocacy is. We've just described, without even mentioning the word advocacy, we have over 2 marks or 3 marks. Our interest is not you telling us it's advocacy. What is advocacy? What is it? What is the ethics in it? Here you've told us what's wrong with this whole issue. But yes, in the eyes of the bank, you'll be seen to be an agent. You're part of them. But what is the position of the ICPA Code of Ethics? An auditor must be independent, both in mind and in appearance. Then what about it? Don't go. So your marking guide, you will not know, but your marking guide will be saying, award a mark for a safeguard, and award a mark, 2 marks for a well-explained ethical issue. Someone else could have said, by representing the client, this leads to advocacy threat. The client will be an agent, the auditor will be an agent of the client. No mark. But you see, you've said the same thing. I've just been explaining advocacy threat here. You've said exactly the same, but no mark. This person has 3 marks. Same question. What's our question we're answering? This. This is the question we're answering. This is the question we are answering. So you'll find that most of you, these are the kind of answers you have. And you're right. You read it from the book. There's self-interest, there's this. But you telling us self-interest or not, it's not our problem. We're saying in the practical implication, what is the issue? 1. And you realize how I have laid down my answer. This is not what I did. I first identified the point. I was intentional about this. You see here? And unfortunately, it makes a very big difference. Why? By doing this, you've not identified the point. By doing this, you've identified the point, and you're starting to earn the professional marks. Because we give you professional marks based on format, layout, and logical presentation of facts in a professional manner. In this, I'll help you give an on how you'll be scored, giving us the position of the law. Because when you're telling a professional person, you must tell us the basis of your rules you're saying. Are you just guessing them? Or it is it's based on the Code of Ethics, it's based on the International Accounting Standards. And then what exactly is the issue? Where is the ethics? This is the problem. This is what makes it an ethical dilemma. Then the next question will be, okay, if it's an ethical dilemma, then what about it? Okay, my colors are not good today. Okay, that's not a good color. Okay, let me leave it that way. But I started by identifying the point. I gave evidence in the scenario that makes me believe I'm just not picking this from my notes. something a past paper question I did, but I'm actually picking it from this very scenario you, the examiner, has given me. You see? And that's why I started with that. You see? So there are, all these are marking points. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's the difference between your lower paper and the upper paper. Probably same questions. They will be a little more complicated in some areas because there's quite some areas you've not done in the lower paper. There are quite some questions you've not done. There are quite some papers that will not, some parts of the syllabus that you've not done in the lower paper, but we shall do them here. So by and large, Hanifa, I hope I've been able to answer your question. And Matthew?
Please,
Matthew?
yes, please.
I hope you see the difference between what your question and answer would be for P9 and probably at this level. This is the level of maturity we would need, right? And of course, we build this over time as we do questions together, as we do class together. Matthew, is that clear?
Yes, Martin.
Yes. Okay. Someone says, Robin, that will the time be sufficient if you're to answer all the questions that way? Robin is crying, saying, God, what is this we're signing up for? No. Again, I don't know whether I mentioned, if you look at one of the key issues as of why people do not pass this exam, we say failure to finish this exam. Failure to finish this exam. Many of you, and I'll tell you, this may be the most time pressured exam you may ever do in your life. By time pressured means time will be bad. However, the only way we can work on this is through our practice. You see, when we do a lot of questions in class, it means that you will have very little thought process to figure out a question. You will know that, oh, the examiner says this, I move like this. So you reduce on the amount of time you need to do a question. But yes, you're right about it. If you try to all questions like this, will you be able to finish? If you don't finish, you'll not pass the exam. So you're now trying to get the reasons why probably many people do not pass the exam. And for me, this is very important in your passing. I can see already someone is already getting grip of what needs to be put right from the word go, because the fact now you can see why people get a lot of problems with time. Yes, but you must finish the exam. So I'll be giving you other tricks during class and revision on how to beat this monster of time without under answering questions. Now, this is the trick. Again, we said failure to finish the exam, but the next point is under answering of questions. Under answering. In other words, providing answers that are not full. So again, you won't be able to pass. Double-edged sword. When you try to cut corners, you finish, but you don't have right answers. All that we'll do in class. Again, like I said, of course, we'll have things like mocks, the test that I promised you to be. You'll have all the material on your desk. I will allow you to have it, but you have to do everything within the required time of 3 hours. Again, I'll be testing you on time, right? We'll give you study material. In my study material, in my book that I've written, I've tried to give you as much detail, especially these tips on how to answer questions as much as possible. But of course, I cannot put everything there because it's not possible given the the nature of material. The material must remain not just exam focused, but also help you professionally. So yes, I totally get you when you have challenges saying, boss, you seem to be requiring too much. No, it's not be requiring too much. It's your examiner that is requiring all this stuff. Yes. Any other questions, guys? Any other question?
Martin,
Yes, please. Shoot.
my other question is like, now when you look at that question you've just done, there are like 5 threats or
Yes.
ethical issues.
Yes.
But after that question, does it mean that you have to give them all, or it depends specifically on what is in the case study?
This is our case study now.
Yes.
This is our case study. This case study has other ethical issues. For instance,
intimidation.
Well, intimidation, maybe not. But if I say this has been for the last 10 years, if I change this last 10 years, there will be an issue of familiarity.
Yeah.
How we explain to be different. Some of you just said to say since you wanted for long, there's a risk of familiarity. You won't yet earn the mark at that point. So there'll be about 5 issues here. Now, on how many issues you give will depend on the marks. If the question has been given like 10 marks here, most likely they need about 3 or 4 ethical. Most likely they need about 4 ethical issues. Actually, probably 4 or 5. And I'll be showing you how to estimate how many points the examiner wants based on the marks given. That is part of what we shall be doing in class. So how many points you have to give depends on how many marks has been awarded. Hanif, have I answered your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. So of course, this one had more than one. We just gave one answer, but definitely had more than one what? More than one. And we'll do quite a lot of this in class. Don't worry. We'll do a lot of past paper questions in class to help you guide you in that. So Hanifa, don't worry. You've been catered for in that area. Is that clear? Someone said, Joan, Naluze. Joan, are you there? Joan. Naluze, Joan, are you there? Okay. Someone is asking, Joan is asking, George, how well can recorded classes be accessed? At MAT Abacus, as long as you've paid, you'll have an account, and immediately after the class, I think within about within a day or less, the classes are usually uploaded within your account, so you can access them until you do the exam. So the classes will be accessed. The recorded classes are always accessed and very available for you to use. But I encourage you to attend class. Let's only rely on recorded classes where we have genuine faith. The fact that I always tell people, the fact that me, the lecturer, I can make it. Why for you do you want me to make it? Because you're working, I'm working somewhere else. So why are you failing to attend class when I can attend? Okay, I'll not ask you to attend 100%. Probably it may not be possible. But at least aim for 90% of the classes. Such that you already, like I said, the material is too much. Some of you are going to miss classes, and by the time you come, you're already in revision. So you find that actually the revision cannot help you much because you've missed so many classes. Now you cannot be revising when you've not. You cannot be revising what you've not what? What you've not studied. Because of too much accumulation of what? Of backlog. But yes, Naluze, I know it for sure. We are all adults here. This is adult education. Sometimes you're going to find yourself chairing, now like men, for us to chair even meetings of clan meetings. So if I have a clan meeting, they don't get to make it for class. So the recordings are always there, very clear, and you'll be able to get them. So, and that is why MAT Abacus is different, that you're able, even in the unlikely circumstances where you miss class, you can still access your recordings and you catch up. Naluze, I hope I've answered that very well. Any other question, guys? Any other question? Any other question?
Martin,
Yes, please.
Martin,
Yes, please,
kindly
Hanifa.
provide us with a list of the regulatory framework for this paper.
Regulatory framework, maybe you mean the syllabus. What do you mean by the regulatory framework?
Like
Meanwhile,
the
that is
list,
our first topic.
the
I
list
hope you know
of
that
the
will also be our first topic in this paper, the regulatory framework of auditors. But yes, you're saying a list of, maybe in the first class, what we shall do also, I'll give you our outline of what we shall cover, in which classes, class 1, class 2. I'll also show you basically what you can call the classroom outline, the lecture plan of what we shall cover and when. And then I'll also show you when probably we shall do our mock, and probably also the debriefs of the mock. Of course, after you've done the mock, the test, I have to now show you on how we should have done the debrief. Yes. And of course, you'll also be given the study materials, the books. Someone asked, but George, that was on the group, on the WhatsApp group. Someone asked, but George, are we able to get the online, I mean, the book? I said yes, and at no additional cost. And then another person asked, can we get it even now? And we said no, until you have paid. You're fully paid up student of MAT. You cannot get the book. Why? And this is the trick. Someone will say, but George, that's unfair. This is the trick. If you're going to pay, half the fees, and then MAT gives you the book, in case you don't complete, it means MAT Abacus has already made the loss of that, because even them, they only buy the book. They also buy the book. So them giving you a book when you've not finished fees, it means in case you don't finish the fees, they will have lost out. So unfortunately, the material, the book will be given to you on full completion of the fees. I don't speak on behalf of MAT Abacus. I speak as a lecturer, but the administrators can guide you on that process. I'm not very interested in that process, because I want to spend more energy in ensuring that you pass. And that is how I prefer it's done. But sometimes I'm forced to guide you on some of these administrative protocols. So yes, the book will, and I want us to be as transparent as possible. The book will be given to you on full payment of fees. However, like I said, during class, I'll be giving you notes, and you must make your notes irrespective of whether you have the book or not. I am the author of the book, but you must make notes, because there's some things I'm going to say in class that are not in that book. And remember, in class, we are also trying to summarize that book. I hope that is clear. Naluze had gone off. Sorry, Naluze. Joan, are you there? Joan. Hey, Joan, your network is bad again.
Excuse me?
Yes,
I'm
Sumaya.
there. I'm
Joan,
asking
you're there.
that.
Sumaya, let me first finish with Joan. Joan, do you stay in Kambodscha or Kawempe by any chance?
No idea.
Yes, I know Kawempe people usually have problems with internet and network, and especially when it rains, when it floods there. But it didn't rain today. Joan, did it rain? Anyway, I'm joking. But Joan, you asked a question that, what was your question? How well can classes recorded be accessed? We say those classes are uploaded immediately the class ends. So within about 5 to 6 hours, the class will already be uploaded. They are well recorded, very good quality, so that should not be a problem. But I also said, given the nature of the paper, I would encourage you as much as possible to ensure that you attend in class, so that you don't, and when you've attended the class, you don't then need the recording. Why? From there, just dive into the questions, start doing practice questions, as opposed to watching the recording and recording over it again. Why? You don't have as much time as we had at campus. You don't have as much time. There's very little time and there's a lot of things to do. So, and remember, this is very fast paced. We said within 2 months, we must finish the syllabus, and 2 months doing revision. This is a very short semester, so we must make good use of our time. Someone else asked, will online classes be happening at the same time with physical classes? Yes, like exactly what's happening now. I am at MAT Abacus right now, so I'll be teaching you the physical class at the same time with the online, just like it's happening now, right? So yes, they happen at the same time. They will not be different. Someone says same time with physical classes of us who are up country. Yes, exactly the same time. At the same time I'm teaching you, I'll be live for online people and live for physical people. So I'll be physically at MAT Abacus while doing these classes, and just the same experience you're having right now. Right now as we speak, we have physical people here, and we have also people who are online. So that question is answered for Fortunate. Fortunate, Mureba. Fortunate. Okay, Fortunate ran away after asking the question. Okay. Then Sumaya, you had yes, Fortunate. Are we clear on that?
Yes, we are. Thank you.
Okay. Now someone has a question that is Sumaya. Sumaya, I'm with you now. Nansha, Sumaya.
Okay, I'm
Sumaya?
asking that.
Yes. Sumaya, your network. Sumaya, do you have a tree just there around your place? You can climb a tree. Network seems to be very bad. Sumaya.
Hello, can you hear me right now?
Now you're live and clear.
Okay, I'm asking that in
Sumaya,
case
sorry
I'm
about
having
your
that.
internet. Sumaya, sorry about your internet. Sumaya.
Let me just type.
No. You talk. Now you're clear. Now you're clear.
I'm asking that in case I'm having the MAT Abacus textbook, can I get a discount? And they don't give me the book. Assume I got it in last year in May sitting.
The material changes. But assuming that's the same book now, unfortunately, that may not be possible. Given the way the fees are structured, MAT has not divided its fees between the book and classes. And also it's because MAT would have to check, is this the same book? Because the book also keeps changing. We keep changing it. And we wouldn't want you to have an updated book. Then also the fees are not exactly divisible the way you would think that, okay, I have a book, so probably I'm saving you some money. It's not exactly like that. So it may not be possible. But please reach out. Again, that's something administrative that I don't have any more authority to comment on. I would still be more comfortable if you reached out to Richard Onanda or Richard Asaba to guide you on that specific issue. Those would be the right people to guide you on that. Yes. Nancha, have I answered your question, Sumaya? Yes? Yes? Sumaya, have I answered your question? Richard will be best suited to guide you on that. You can have that negotiation.
Yes, I'm going to reach out to Richard.
Reach out to them and see if it's something they can do. At MAT Abacus, we are very open and customer-centric. They always listen. Someone has asked, George, What would be the best order to cover CPA 16 topics? Just follow the book. Follow the book. The way I've arranged them, you realize in the book, I've not arranged those topics based on how your syllabus is arranged. I've arranged them in the chronological order that makes it easy for you to understand. So just follow your book when you get it. But also in class, you'll see how we shall be covering topics. That's the best way to follow. In the first class, I'll be showing you how we are going to cover the syllabus. That's the chronological order. That's the best order. How often could you reach out to you in case of audit issues? You can always reach out to me. We have a WhatsApp group. On that WhatsApp group, I'm always there. Please always ask all the questions there. I'm always there to answer them on that WhatsApp group. But also, other people who may even have answers to that can answer, but I'm always keeping a very close eye to make sure that people are giving the right answers, and I can also provide the answers myself. So let's use the WhatsApp group. That's the reason why we opened it. I'm planning to provide FR, FM, PFM, strategy, and audit. Any advice on this subject combination? Robin, how many papers are you planning to do? Robin, how many papers are you planning to do this sitting? All of them. How many? Robin, the question is how many? Robin, how many? 5. Sounds suicidal. Sounds suicidal, but I am from that I am from that school of thought that there is nothing impossible. As long as you know what it takes and you're up for the game. Now, the audit practice paper is quite very wide. The public financial management, is this public sector? It's also quite wide.
Yeah.
These other two, FR and FM, may not be as wide, and strategy. But this looks like an overload. But as long as you have the time and you have what it takes about time and the sacrifice, I am sure it's possible. But it's not business as usual. I'll tell you that when I did my ACCA exams, I did, in the first sitting, I did 4 papers and I passed all of them. The second sitting, I did 3, I passed all of them. The last sitting, I did 3, I passed all of them. Those were 3 sittings and the course was done, right? When I came for my CPA exams, I did all the 2 in 1 sitting in 2 weeks without even attending class, and it was done. I knew what it required to do these exams. I put in the sacrifice and the time, and I passed them. So anything, even when we were doing these exams, people say, no, it's impossible. You can't pass all. It's not easy, but it's possible. Whatever has been created by man can be done by man. Someone asked, before I lose track of this, are there any examiner trends you should watch out for? Yes. And I'll be, along the way, I'll be sharing with you what we call an examination analysis for the last 10 years, on which topics the examiner, so that you see yourself, which topics has the, let me just give you an example of this very quickly here. Let me see if I can just get you something that I share with people. Just a minute. Let me just share with you something here. Oh God, is my Gmail still open here? Okay, I'll give you an example. Again, for instance, I'll be sharing with you something like this. Oof, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Sorry. Oh God. Sorry. I want to share with something. Hey, where is it? Okay, sorry. Sorry. Something is playing me here. Are you able to see my screen? I'll be sharing with you something like this, an analysis showing you how your examiner has been setting the different topics so that you're able to see. You see, I'll do for you this kind of analysis so that you see June 23, December 22, September 22, June 22, like this. This is an analysis showing how your examiners have been what? Setting the different topics over the last 10 years, right? Actually, more than 10 years, right? I'll be showing you this kind of analysis so that even you can be able, you'll see some topics like audit procedures. There's no single sitting when that topic is not there. You see some topics are more common than others. You see like ethics, you can see almost every sitting there's ethics, right? All this is ethics, right? So you see there's some topics that you see are very common. Internal audit, internal controls, you see it's also very common, right? So I'll be doing that. Okay. Let me see if we have any questions here. How often could you, okay. Are there any similar trends? I've asked them, I've answered that. Okay. Any other questions, guys? I think I've answered all the questions that we had in the chat. Any other questions? Any other questions, guys? Okay, there being no questions, I want to call this to the end. Thank you for making time to be with us at MAT Abacus. Just to remind you, please look out for your timetable. Most of our classes will be on Thursday, but some will be on Friday. Very few, but just look at predominantly Thursdays. Almost all Thursdays will be having classes. Like I told you, we have 2 months to do this and get out of it, do our revision. We'll have mocks and debriefs. But Matt will provide the study material. Other than that, please ensure that you're in our WhatsApp group because we share quite a lot of information there. And also, in case you have any changes, I will be giving some additional classes because of how tight this program is and how short the semester is. Around April and May, we might have some Saturday very morning classes. They are additional classes, but they are free of charge. You don't be required to be to pay for them, anything additional. They will be purely online, and they'll be running from 6 up to, and they usually run from 6 up to about 8 a.m. But that's strictly in April and May when we started around. Sorry, yes, that's strictly around April, right? April, and could even be some bit of March. But that is again all so that we have more time together. And that is because we need quite a lot of practice in this exam. There will be no additional fees for that. And all classes will be run in the MAT Abacus platforms. So they'll be recorded and the same quality procedures will be followed. If there are no questions, I want to wish you a great Sunday and thank you for coming. Cheers. I don't know whether there's anyone, any administrator online to close this. If there's none, I want to wish you a good Sunday. See you in class. Remember, we start immediately. Goodbye. Unless there's any other question, I want to close it here. Goodbye. See you. Cheers. Please join the WhatsApp group. Let's get audit out of the way. Thank you. Bye. See you.